What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Casual Critic YouTube channel. I'm happy to have you here today. We're going to be reviewing Lightyear that just came out this past weekend. Before we get into this review, I have two things to say. Number one, I don't have my review written up, so I don't have notes. So if this is a little scatterbrained, a little funky, a little awkward, I'm sorry. I saw this yesterday. I was going to go see it Thursday for the advanced showing, but I couldn't, so I went to go see it yesterday. And I've been booked and busy. Okay. So, and the second thing I like to address, I don't look very appetizing today. I wish I could show you my whole outfit because I look like I belong in front of a 7-Eleven. Like I just look bad. But we're doing it. I'm recording this the night before, which I never do. I usually have my videos locked and loaded, ready to go. But here we go. So welcome to my channel. Please subscribe to me. Okay, let's talk about Lightyear. I don't have any of my notes, so sorry. I typically will get into the premise of the movie. I want this to be as non-spoiler as possible because it did just come out. And honestly, this is one of my most anticipated movies of this year. I've been so excited for it. The trailer where they used David Bowie's Starman is one of the best trailers I've ever seen. And it added to the hype to this movie for me. So I will be saying one spoiler. I'm going to go ahead and get that out of the way. So if you don't want to know anything about it, fast forward a minute or so and we'll get on with the rest of the review. But this blew my mind. So this is the spoiler. Fast forward if you don't want to hear. This blew my mind. I had heard about this on TikTok before I went to see it, but I didn't know if it was like just a fan theory or something, or if it was actually like in the movie. But before the movie starts, there's like some text that comes up on the screen, and it basically explains that this is the movie, like Lightyear is the movie that Andy saw, and it became his favorite movie, and that's why he got the Buzz Lightyear toy, like the action figure, which I think is absolutely genius. I don't know if they like planned that from the start of wanting to make a Buzz Lightyear movie, or if they just kind of added that in as they were making it and was like, oh, we should make this the movie that Andy saw. I don't know how that happened, how that played out, but I think it is genius. It automatically made me even more excited for the movie while I was sitting there. And like I said earlier, as far as my expectations going into this movie, this is one of my most anticipated movies of the year. I've been so hyped for this movie ever since I heard about it. I love a good Pixar movie, and especially in the Toy Story storyline and all that stuff. I will eat it up, okay? It's nostalgic, and I love it, and I was so excited to watch this movie. My expectations were literally like through the roof. I won't say that it met my expectations. It definitely didn't in some areas, but we'll get into it. But it's a fun time, in my opinion, but we'll get into the review. So let's talk about the directing, because this is one of the most cinematically shot animated movies I've ever seen. And I think it raised the bar in some ways. It's just so beautiful. It's so detailed, which I mean, Pixar always knocks it out of the park. You know what I mean? And maybe raises the bar is a bit too much for Lightyear, but it definitely is amazing looking. And I'll talk about the story probably last because I have the most to say about the story. But as far as just how it looks, it is beautiful. It is a beautiful movie, and I wouldn't change a thing. I think it's directed beautifully. So next, let's talk about the writing, because I have a bit to say about the writing. The writing is not terrible, but it definitely could be better. I think they nailed some aspects. Like there's a big emotional aspect in this story with Buzz and another character that I won't get into because I don't want to say no spoilers. I will say this is not really a spoiler because it's been talked about. Like Chris Evans has talked about this. Lesbians in it, love them. Love them to death. Great lesbians. This is a win for us lesbians. Okay, moving on. As far as the writing goes, it nailed some portions. It nailed some stuff that it was trying to do, especially the emotional aspect. I cried. Okay. I wasn't expecting to cry, but in this movie, I wasn't thinking that it was going to be that pulling on the heartstrings because I didn't know the premise or what this was about at all. I just knew it was Buzz Lightyear. That is it. And I think they did a good job in the trailers, like showing you what it looks like without saying exactly what's about to happen. Because honestly, the story kind of took me by surprise. But like I was saying with the writing, they nailed the emotional aspect, at least for me. I'm sure some people probably will disagree and thought it was cringy or whatever. I did shed a single tear. It was just one, so I wasn't sobbing. I wasn't having a breakdown, but I did cry a tear. So I think they did that well, but there were some things that just came off as real cringy. There were just some particular lines that were cringe. There were some of the things that Buzz was saying that was kind of cringe. And I'm going to be honest, because typically I talk about the acting as well when I'm doing these reviews. And of course, this is talking about voice acting, which I don't typically like have strong feelings about voice acting. Sometimes I do if it's done like really well, but a lot of times I don't really have, I don't know, I just don't really think about it as much in animated movies as I do like with this, regular live action movies as far as the acting goes. I have a personal thing about Chris Evans. I think everybody wants to fuck Chris Evans. I'm not one of those people. I think he's overrated. I really don't think I'm sorry. I really don't think he's that good of an actor. He's fine, but he gets everything. He gets everything. Or what? I don't get it. He was fine in this movie. I don't care. I don't know. Sometimes he came off, I don't know. Sometimes it was a little cringe, if I'm being honest. And that's probably just because I have a thing about Chris Evans, okay? So just take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Maybe he's fucking great. I don't know. But I thought he was fine. I just thought he was just fine. Which is not what you want in a Pixar movie because they're supposed to be like top of the line shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I felt about him. The girl that plays his buddy, who is the lesbian, I thought she did great. Taika Waititi's in this movie, and I like his stuff. I have not seen all of it. I need to get more well-versed in his stuff. I've still not seen Jojo Rabbit, which I know is a mistake, and I'm going to get on that. But it wasn't his voice acting in this movie. I did not like his character at all, which is not his fault, I know. I did not like his character at all. He's just annoying, but not in like, oh, this is a kid's movie and this character's really annoying, but it's kind of funny. No, I just hated him. I really did not want him to be there. He was making everything worse. I just farted. So hopefully that did not get picked up, but maybe it did. There's another character that's like Buzz's little sidekick. That's not a human, it's an animal. And that's all I'll say to try to keep this as non-spoiler as possible. But that character, his little buddy, that is one of my favorite characters in anything ever. I felt so strongly over that thing. I was like, if any time they got in trouble during the movie, I was like, nothing better happen to this man. Nothing better happen to this man right here because I will riot. I really don't care about anybody else except Buzz. I do care about that other character, but I won't say who she is because that is a spoiler. But that little sidekick, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. I would die for that sidekick. I would die for him in an instant. So I thought he was a great addition to the movie. I love what they did with that. He was funny. He was helpful. Unlike Taika Waititi, who is messing everything up every 5 seconds. Please get out of here, sir. You do not need to be in here. Your sticky fingers are going to mess something else up. That's how I felt about the characters in this movie. So all that said, let's talk about the story as a whole, because I definitely have some problems with the story. I think it needs to be reworked because, honey, it really doesn't make sense what you have these people doing. Whoever did this, whoever directed this movie, whoever made this, it's just like one of those things. And this, I've seen other movies like this too, and I'm sure you have as well, where like there's a problem in a movie and the solution to this problem is staring you right in the face, but nobody else sees it. You know what I mean? That is literally what the whole story is, like over and over again, because they face different problems. They have this problem, then they try to solve it, and then they try to fix it, and then they have another problem, and yada yada yada. I just don't understand. The solution is right there, in my opinion, but I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it for a kids movie. I don't know. I just felt like there were so many times in the story where I was confused as to why they would do that it kind of did take away from it. But overall, I think it could be better. The story could be way better, honestly. It just sucks because it just looks so great and it's a fun time. And I just wish that the story made a little more sense for the kind of movie that it is, if that makes, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is supposed to be like a futuristic thing. They're in space and shit and they're traveling and like you can't do XYZ. Like, you can't fix the problem by doing XYZ. I'm trying to like find a solution. Anyway, I think the story could have just been told in a different direction a little bit. It could have had the same like overarching theme or whatever, or had the same like overarching like big events happen. Just like the details of how they moved to one place to another and one problem to another, I think could have been better. But I still had a really good time. I laughed. I cried. What else do you want in a Pixar movie? Overall, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. If you've seen Lightyear, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. And subscribe to this YouTube channel. It helped me out a lot, and give this video a thumbs up. I'm going to go order some food. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.